the audio was fine.
Interesting. That would be why I didn't know, because I was here, so why would I watch it?
I clicked on it later and I noticed that.
I don't know about this one too.
Josh said that's interesting too.
Of course, that's a very common comment, isn't it?
Interesting.
You got 3 minutes here to block that too, whatever. To each their own. I'm not gonna judge. I might judge a little bit.
So you're quitting?
Is that it? No. Sean had to get her license in North Dakota about a month ago. I said, North Dakota, there's a lot of fishing going up there. She goes, don't you dare.
We've got video.
Yeah,
Perfect.
thank you. It looked like it was working on this end on the laptop in there, so.
Not sure about audio, we have video.
Yeah, it's either one or the other.
Yeah, you can't have both.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, any additions to, changes to the agenda?
No additions, but one note, under 3.5 personnel, we had one action added under that. It's on the memo, hiring a paramedic.
Okay. Okay, so under 3.5 personnel,
There's one addition to that.
one
personnel
addition
action.
to that for hiring an EMT,
Paramedic.
paramedic,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, look for a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Motion and a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Visitors to be heard, come on up. Seeing that there's none, we'll move on to consent agenda. Nate, anything on here you'd like to draw attention to this evening?
A few items, Mayor and Council. Item 3.5 under personnel, we've got 3 resignations that have been expected for some time. There's well as one new paramedic, Ian Stark, who we will hire at $21.36 an hour. There's a special event permit application for a block party. This is the same block party that was held last year on July 4th, between Main and Poplar on Center Street. So that'll be blocked off. Same use as last year. All the activities will be on private property. They'll have to get their own barricades because ours will be in use for the July 4th festivities. Let's see here, and then a memo 3.7 on industrial land appraisal. We're not moving forward with the appraisal, and explained in there why that is, but I wanted to make sure that that was still there and available, so everybody knew what the latest status was on that after the committee meeting last week. One note on the engineer's report, we did have the pre-construction meeting for the Oriole Avenue project today. Everybody that we expected was in attendance, so school, Wilson Trailers, Hugh Steel are most affected by this. DOT was in attendance as well, because we'll have to do some coordination with them on the Highway 44 project. We are expecting a late summer start on Oriole Avenue, so that's going to mean some conflicts with school traffic. And so I asked Mitch today to put together an RFP for some sort of traffic control at 44 in Main, whether that's temporary light or alternating stops. He mentioned flaggers as a possibility, which might work in fast just because it's for those temporary periods when kids are coming and going to schools.
Like the actual people?
Yeah.
Will Maine be impacted at all in that project?
Just the tie-in, and I don't think, did you look at the tie-in to Maine today? I didn't look at that.
For storm, that's all.
Yeah, it really should just be storm sewer tie-in, and then concrete, so they may need to saw into Maine a little bit. And then the only other impact I would anticipate is when they get to paving, traffic will either be staging on Main or leaving on Main. So whether they pave from east to west or west to east, that'll impact that. So,
What's the timeline? I mean, like, how long is it supposed to take?
a couple months.
Months?
Yeah, it sounds like Highway 44 is making really good progress. I was pretty impressed with how far they've gotten in the last few weeks.
Other discussion from council for the consent agenda this evening? I did have a question I was thinking of, and Kyle, maybe this is, well, this would be Nate, or actually be Mitch, I think, but on the engineer's report, sorry, Kyle. But do you know, with the base flood evaluation study, like that's looking fine with the Nelson development and communicate it to them?
I don't want to say too much because we don't have the final report yet, but I believe on the Nelson edition, the floodplain is actually going to be a little smaller
Okay.
than what the current map shows. But I don't want to say that that's definitely the case without seeing a final.
Yep.
And I asked Mitch today when we were after the pre-construction meeting, you know, are we ready to go over something about this tomorrow in our engineering meeting?
Okay.
I'd really like to wrap up. You know, we told Nelson to hold off any work there and hold off on the floodplain development permit.
Right.
Until we had the flood elevation study done. And, you know, it's really one of those things I don't want to have hanging out there too long, so.
Okay. Other questions, comments, discussion from council? I'll look for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Further discussion. We'll do roll call this evening then. Van Drill,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Sweer,
Aye.
Welch,
Aye.
Teasy.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries then. We are on the 4 old business. We have 4.1 ordinance 669 peddler permits.
Mayor and council, this is the second reading of this ordinance 669 on peddler permits. First reading was at the last meeting in May, I believe it was May 26th. No changes have been made since that time. We recommend a motion to approve the second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing that there's none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. On to 4.2, we have utility policies.
Mayor and Council, I'll have Kyle explain some of the changes here that are included in this latest version. The item I worked on with the city attorney was winter shut-off timing. What we ended up doing, so state code had requirements on shut-off of gas and electric during the winter, not necessarily water, but we did end up lining up those dates to reflect the same on water and sewer. So it's November 1st through March 1st. We would not do shut-offs, which, it's just as much about our ability to turn those off as it is anything else. If there's snow on the boulevard, we may be melting through quite a bit just to get down there and then melting to get on that service. So, and Kyle, I think, worked on the payment plan application with Tyson and Jen.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, there's not many changes to this. You can see the highlighted changes that were made. Nate mentioned the winter shut-off policy, and then just some language changes with the disconnect fee. And then the payment plan hardship arrangement that Tyson developed is also included in the packet. So I'm here to answer any questions.
So how do we decide if they get a 3-month, 6-month, or 12-month payment plan? Whatever they apply
Is
for.
that something they request, or is it
Yep.
based on something else?
They request it, right?
Yeah. Well, it's broken down into a monthly, like 3 months, 6 months, and a year. So.
But to do 12 months, they have to have over $1,000 in balance.
I think that, it's not, there's some payment plan applications that, I suppose they can pull a credit check and see what else is going on, but this at least is something where at least it gets them in here and having a conversation.
Yep.
And that puts like, okay, you're actually making an effort with trying to get this figured out, so, I think it's a good step. I think it's good to have this in place, and, yeah, it's not, it's official as we need it, I think, right now.
Yeah, it's really formalizing, processes that, have been available, but there's nothing concrete in the past. And I think having that makes it a little more applicable. And if it turns out that that we're creating more hardship somewhere with this process and we need to move something, we can always come back and make those adjustments, so.
I think also if a family is going through this situation, there's probably other issues financially for them too. So I don't know, it might be good to have some sort of available, because there's state aid for things like that, to just point them in that direction, because there might be
Yes.
other things they might need. but-
We do work with Interlakes Community Action.
Sure.
Love Inc. Helps out from time to time as well on these, so, and they've been great partners. They're willing and able to help when they can.
Good.
And when somebody's on a payment plan too, I think this was part of the policy. We're not charging late fees because the full balance is paid. We don't need to pile on hardship after hardship on a situation like that, so.
So I think it all looks good, making those tweaks and all of that looks good to me. Other council members have more discussion or questions for Kyle?
Could you just quickly go over the language on the disconnection fee? I understand it, however, though, there are some people that are concerned how we call disconnect fee the same as a shut-off fee, and we're just raising that rate.
No rates have actually been changed.
Correct.
Yeah, so previously, or as of right now, there is a $25 disconnect and then a $25 reconnect. So if I or Eli went out and physically shut it, that's, a close, a 25, and then if we go back and open it, that's a 25. So we're just doing this straight disconnect fee. So if there's no payment made by the 10th, that disconnect fee applies, as well as a late fee. The late fee is at the
So
5th.
getting rid of that reconnect fee and just doing one disconnect fee, instead of 25 and 25, it's just 50. It's really just saving a step in our administrative process. That's really the most it does.
Okay.
Is there ever a situation where the disconnect fee would apply to me, but the turn-on fee would apply to somebody else? Does that make sense, where the property would change hands between the disconnect and the reconnect?
Maybe a question for Jen.
I don't think we charge a connect fee when somebody opens a new account, it's just a deposit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that's just in the case where we are shutting you off and we are turning you back on.
I guess it'd just be a case of if someone gets shut off and then vacates that property, they never have intentions of turning it back on, but.
Yeah.
But it has to be turned on at some point, so I guess the administrative work behind it is covered, right?
By the deposit, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
And I think there's some point at which we, maybe we do need to talk about whether we take a deposit instead of, the places I've lived have been okay with a utility credit check.
We don't take one?
We do take it.
We do take a deposit.
Oh,
I couldn't tell you when that started, maybe 10, 15 years ago.
I was gonna say, I thought we did.
Yeah, and so, we'll have folks that are, have lived in their homes for 20 years that, are expecting, well, I gotta pay a deposit now that I'm moving. Yeah, I know you didn't have to 20 years ago, but, it's been in policy. It is rarely an issue, but there are some instances where it's like if we can do a utility credit check, which may take more work, but, at least gets them out of the $200
Is
deposit.
there a cost to us to do a credit check?
Just in staff time. So it'd be like if we would get your permission to check with Excel, Mid-American, if you're coming from a county, municipal, utilities, whatever it might be. And we're calling and say, any of the payments in the last 12 months? And if not,
I'm trying to think if I've moved several times, but generally it's the same utility company, so I'm trying to remember if you have to pay deposits on your other utilities. Is that a huge money maker for us? I mean, is it a revenue generator to have that deposit?
it's not a revenue generator because you're eventually
Getting it back.
out of it. Whether it's their final bill or, at least once a month, we're signing checks in here that are refunding back the balance of a deposit.
I think if we could eliminate it, it's a less barrier to entry.
Yeah.
You have so many costs when you're coming into a new place that this is one less thing you have to worry about.
Right. My guess is we've done it because a lot of other places were doing it, but I don't know that that's the case. And it's not something that I'm recommending we change now. I think there's, a process that we'll want to go through with that to make sure that we're setting it in a way that meets our needs and that of our residents, so.
I would suggest that we look into doing that. If someone else is.
I think it's a good idea to have the deposit personally.
Yeah. It is useful. I mean,
It covers the city's liability.
it does. And usually all of it, not always, but usually, for a specific property. We've also talked about if there are 12 months of on-time payments, that maybe we refund it after a year. So we would still cover ourselves, but if we've got a demonstrated history of good payments, then we could refund it.
I don't mind that idea.
Or they set up automatic or something like that.
What's that?
Or they set up like automatic withdrawal from their checking or something that it's like.
It works.
Yeah,
It's gonna be on time.
yeah,
Almost always. We have had a couple. We've had a couple that even though they're on automatic payment,
yeah.
it came through late from their bank. And we understand that happens. So,
I think, looking into that, whether it be a refund at a certain period or elimination or
Yep.
decrease or something, if we could look into that as a separate
I'll
process.
put that on our radar for
How do we,
sometime this year.
how do we store, or like, do we have a separate account to keep the deposits in, or like, what's that balance look like for the city?
It comes in as deposits, doesn't it, on the revenue report?
That's not a revenue, it just goes to like a liability.
Liability line, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see it on the balance sheet. Because technically it's a liability.
Right, yeah, it's not our money.
Right, it's owed to them upon release.
This is a question for Kyle, do you stay hard and fast to them, not shutting off during the winter months? Or like if you've got 2 weeks before that deadline, do you leave that water line on?
Well, the previous couple of years have been pretty favorable as far as, winter
Yeah.
and snow. But like going back in like 21 and 22, when we had,
Good.
significant
Little bit of
snow on the boulevards, we pretty much have to either get a loader or a skid steer to clear that out. And at that point, we might do more damage.
Right, you could hit that curb stop and,
Have a big problem.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense, you said this aligns with other utility shut-off dates, so I think it makes sense that our policy would align with that November 1st to March 1st.
Got a nice answer.
2,000?
like, it counts as cash balance, but there's a liability tied to that cash balance.
Yeah.
Hard 2,000.
Any other questions for Kyle?
I guess, do we, like, if someone gets on one of these payment plans, do we monitor their water usage? Or like, I'm just thinking of a scenario where like you're behind and then you like, I don't know what your reason for using tons of water are, but.
Pool irrigation.
I was just saying-
I mean, exactly, I mean, should we let someone water their lawn if they're way behind on their, you know where I'm going with this? Like, is there some sort of like, hey, if you're on a plan, you gotta stick to a certain usage quantity? I don't know how we monitor that or enforce that, but.
I guess I'd wanna look at, when I think of the frequent shut-offs, and you may know better than I do you think of irrigation?
No.
I can only think of one that might
Okay.
have it. Maybe two. But, I mean, we can monitor anybody's usage. I don't know if we could set up a report for it daily, but.
The new meters can read by the minute, the older ones are twice a day.
I don't know. I'm not requesting a change to this, I'm just thinking out loud, like.
Sure.
I mentioned those remote meters,
Mhm.
I think at a previous meeting. Those have a throttle capability. Well, you can pretty much just, close that valve partially, so you could still use, the toilet, but you couldn't take a shower I mean, you probably could, but it wouldn't be very much.
The pressure will go down.
That's what I was gonna ask, if there's any way to like regulate it so
Yep.
that there's less flow.
Yep. But those meters come at a cost.
Sure.
Might make it difficult to run a washing machine.
Just
Maybe.
take just take a longer cycle.
Okay, any other discussion? And otherwise, we'll look for a motion to approve, this year utilities policies.
I'll motion to approve the utility procedure and policies.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Alright, motion carries. Thanks, Kyle. On to new business here, we have the annual financial report.
We're gonna hand it over to Tyson for this one.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm just gonna give a quick highlight of the comparisons of 2024 through 2025. And like property tax revenue increased 165,000, sales tax decreased by 36,000, building permits revenue decreased by 140,000, interest income decreased 8,200, special assessment revenue increased by 45,000, contributions and donations decreased by 21,000. Long-term debt for long-term debt for enterprise funds, it's like water, sewer, pool, and ambulance are enterprise funds, increased by 26,000 due to new long-term debt from Central Basin 4, 254,000 of water, and 603,000 through sewer. Long-term debt for the general fund, which is everything besides water, sewer, ambulance, and pool, decreased by 390,000, no new long-term debt issued for general fund. Our overall expenses increased by 5% from 2024 to 2025. Water fund revenue increased 177,000. Sewer fund revenue decreased by 10.8 million, primarily due to the DOC funds proceeds. And a couple of grants, excluding those grants and the DOC funds, have increased by 211,000. Ambulance funds revenue increased by 8,000, while expenses decreased by 24,000. Swimming pool funds revenue decreased by a little under 600, while expenses increased by 36,000. And a big portion of those increased expenses are due to the pool being incorrectly charged utilities in past years. We got that fixed and resulted in a $15,000 increase in 25 alone.
Okay.
And also know on swimming pool, we also painted the pool last year, and that was, I think, a $45,000 expense, so,
That doesn't show up as an expense, so, since it's an asset.
since it's an asset.
But the depreciation shows,
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
like another 5,000 or something.
5
What, on the contributions and donations from private sources, what would that include? Like, out of curiosity, what would be an example of one of those?
Just give me a second here to pull up the account.
Is that the, like when we raise money
We
for
raise-
Parks and Rec
yeah.
for the playground, is that what that would be?
I remember if we raised that money in 24 or 25,
I feel like it was 24.
24.
So that's probably what it is.
So we installed in spring of 25. Yeah. That's probably part of it. There's other, random, things that will come in.
Like the
I don't
park
think grants
benches
is
or
under that.
like when if you're dedicating
I
a
think,
park
I think
bench.
a park bench would come under that.
I just, 21,000 seems like a lot to decrease, so, but the playground equipment would make sense, cause I know we did the.
That's a
the
line
request
that's
for
all,
funding.
it's all over the place in every budget, I think we try and budget a steady level, but it could be up one year, down others. I think we also got, I think anything that isn't a state grant goes into donations.
Yeah.
So like what we got from Poet, 4,000 or 5,000 we got from Poet, those kind of things will be in there as well.
And then I also just wanted to call out, even though it says our ambulance fund revenue increased and our expenses decreased, it is still a loss. This is not like a full, balance sheet.
Yeah.
This is not like, yeah, I just wanna call that out. Because
That's a ripple in the ocean,
Mhm.
so to speak.
Yeah, I can pull up the report and tell you exactly how much we lost in ambulance.
It's a lot.
I just don't want that to be misconstrued anywhere, that's,
Beat me to the punch. We'll have another meeting on that topic next week, Tuesday, for anyone that's available.
Okay. Other discussion, question?
I think Tyson was just looking at a number for
Okay.
ambulance, so for the recording purpose.
And they have ambulance and pool combined, so I gotta whip out the old calculator app real quick. Even though I'm on an Excel document. Does this make sense, I guess? Yeah. That's fine.
I would do the same, so I think it's kind of funny.
Instead of using it,
Just did it today?
Still lost
In a
about
meeting.
$160,000 in
Yeah.
ambulance.
So
Okay.
you said lost $160,000? Yeah, okay. Yep. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Tyson. Discussion, questions, council?
Wouldn't hurt to get an approval. I don't know if we even need it, but doesn't.
Sure.
hurt to
I think
just
you've
get
already sent it to
approval.
paper for publication, but it is nice to have approval.
So the motion would be to approve the annual financial report comparison,
Just annual
Just the annual
report.
report.
annual report for 2024, 2025?
Just 25.
I will motion to approve the annual report from 2025.
Second.
All right, motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing that there's none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. We're on to 5.2 sewer jetting and televising proposal.
Mayor and Council, I'll have Kyle come up for any questions, but this year's project is slightly different from previous years in that we're updating our televising as well. Most recent televising was completed in 2019. It's time to update those reports again. Rather than issuing a fall project, we're going to combine it with our cleaning project and kill two birds with one stone. So that'll be a section of town. Are you doing it in 3 sections? Yeah, so every 3 years. The original quote for the project came in at $63,000, which we thought was way higher than we expected. So we asked for a second quote from vendor Sewer and Drain, which came in shockingly close to $63,000 as well. So we had budgeted $25,000 for this. Kyle and I talked again today. We can set aside the funds for this year's spot repairs. We're probably not going to do that until we have our next big underground utility project with the next central basin project. So regardless of whether we fully repurpose that spot repair money or just take it out of fund balance, I think we're all in agreement that it needs to continue and the project needs to move forward. So we recommend a motion to approve cleaning and televising proposal from vendor Sewer and Drain.
Thank you. Discussion, council?
I was just comparing their 2 quotes.
How long will this take?
Last year we used Bender, granted they didn't do televising, just jetting, and they did a third of the town in 1 day. 2 years before that, pipe detectives did the same amount, and it took them about 2 weeks. I mean, they did have to mow from Fargo.
But they're down here regularly anyway.
Yeah,
So.
they probably line it with T. I think T has a, with pipe detectives, but.
And Pipe Detectives did our project in 2019. They did a fine job. I don't think anybody had any issues with that.
So they're both, we're happy with the service from both those folks.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, what general section of town are they looking at?
So this year it would be the Meadows and everything south of, it'd be 5th. And then Blaine, Garfield, and Academy on the south end of 9th.
Thank you.
That's some older infrastructure there. I think that's a good spot.
Yeah.
And historically, we've had some issues down there.
Sure.
And it says in these proposals that the videos and reports are uploaded to the diamond mapping, so that's our GIS with Stockwell, correct?
This one's different.
That's our
Okay.
separate GIS.
Yeah,
Okay,
the diamond map is the one that we have full control over.
okay,
We're still kind of working, putting a lot of stuff, when we're doing this valve exercise and cleaning, we can document all that. And I'd really like to share it with you guys here in the next, probably the end of this year when we have it pretty honed in. It's really interactive. I mean, all the sewer televising, if we go with vendor, can be implemented right on this. So you can literally just click on a section of sewer main and up, and the attachments will be there and you can see the televising that they perform. So it's really, it's very nice.
And it's something that we have as a tool internally, whereas GIS, yes, I think everybody probably has that tab open on their browsers every time. And we make it publicly available. Diamond is more of what we use for our internal maintenance records and, when did we last exercise this valve? What issues have we had with this hydrant, so on and so forth.
okay.
So that just stays up on their server for however long, we don't have to pay like a yearly access?
Bender would allow them to use their storage. He said he's never had any issues, but we could also put it on our shared drive as well.
Okay. That's what we did last time. We had it on our shared drive.
Which we probably
Yeah, good backup.
Sure.
So, I'm with Chad, I was just kind of comparing the two. A lot of the information on the second page of the pipe detectives is talking about like, if there's excessive deposits, roots, debris, blah, blah, like that they're billing at a rate of, is there similar charges with vendor if they were to run into that kind of stuff?
I would have to request that for them, but last year I there was some sections of some old cleanouts that we ran into, and that took a little bit more of his time, but he didn't charges any extra.
Yeah, cause I'm seeing on.
I think if we run into something like we had on maybe First or Poplar,
Yep.
then it's going to cost a
Sure.
little extra, because that's gonna take significant man hours.
On vendors, it says mobilization, no charge included with cleaning and inspection, would that be the same, or is that something different?
I think it's just because he's more local.
Okay. Oh, mobilization, okay, got it, thank you. I'm also not wearing glasses, so for me to, it's rough.
You can zoom in on that.
I'm trying.
Need the large print
Yeah,
edition
or,
laptop.
iPad next time.
Other questions, comments, concerns? If not, we'll look for a motion to approve cleaning and televising proposal from vendor sewer and drain.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion is second, any final discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We're on to 5.3 mobile home license renewal.
Pardon?
We're on to mobile home license
Sorry.
renewal. That's right.
I was reading through my memo again.
On to the next thing.
Got it.
But I look
Apologies.
at Tyson to go against.
Tyson wants to take, you can do that. Mayor and Council, I won't read through the entirety of my memo here. We are recommending approval on 3 of the 4 mobile home parks here in town. The 4th, Sunnyside, we did not recommend approval. Kyle reported to me on Friday that the owners of Sunnyside did reach out on, I think it was Thursday or Friday, and committed to making whatever changes they needed to make by today. I drove through it today. I suppose some improvements have been made to the siding of one of the buildings, and one of the decks has been repaired finally. But my concerns remain that this is only a priority for this ownership for the 3 days before the license is up for renewal. And that there's just simply no commitment to standards, enforcing those standards, and working with residents to keep the park in a safe and sanitary condition. My memo probably comes off a little bit punchy. It's intended to. Is anything significantly different in this park than it has been in years past? Probably not. I mean, there are cars parked all over the place. There's junk and trash that just kind of sits there. Project cars that remarkably have not been under project all year, but one of these days will be. I mean, it's really just a storage yard for some of this stuff. I think we're ready for something to happen here.
Discussion.
It's tough to discuss this, because I remember coming on last year and it was hard to push that back and not give them that extension. And then we did, and we felt better about it, but they waited once again to the very last day.
And we're trying to strike a balance here. We understand the role and utility of these mobile home parks in providing a living situation that is achievable for those who need it. And they do meet a low-income housing need in this town that we don't otherwise have. Every park meets that need and can do it by meeting minimum standards. Why that's different in this case, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough call. There are people that, I don't know how many, but I know that there are some that take care of their property well there. And the people that don't are ruining it for those. and I don't know, maybe this would be from the owner, but it's like, is there any way to do some sort of, like, can they evict or condemn certain units?
They do have the ability, yes. I mean, you have to go through, it's a fairly lengthy court process.
Kind of like
To
an
evict.
eviction kind of thing?
Yeah, it's an eviction process.
Yeah.
And I asked Jen, and we think maybe half of them are owned and half are rented. So maybe half are owned by the park itself and rented out.
How many total units are there?
I'm gonna say 14 lots are filled. There are some that are available, and there's the 2 camping spots as well,
In this one right here.
yes.
I didn't realize there was that many units there.
And they're kind of stacked up on the west side behind these. I think there's 6 or 7 there, and maybe 6 or 7 to the east. There's extra lots available.
Honestly, there was a few pictures that I was surprised not to see.
Agreed.
I've been through a few of these before, and I think the fact that nobody is here speaking on this,
Not one.
that one person, kind of speaks volumes to me.
Well, and I would assume more than just the park owner has been informed of these violations, it looks like.
So what would the process look like of getting, like,
The relocation assistance or?
well, getting them assistance, number one, but then like, okay, then what happens to all the trailers?
Right.
What happens with the land? Like, is it just gonna sit there dilapidated and be no better than it is right now?
My gut says we'd probably have to go through the condemnation process.
A lot of those are probably aged out to where they can't be moved on to a new site.
Most, if not all.
Do we have age brackets for what is allowed in our mobile parks? I mean, most places are 30 years.
Yeah, all those trailers look like 80s.
Like, yeah, like they're coming up on 50 years or more.
So Rob called Kyle and said he's doing all this stuff, and he maybe did some stuff, but there's no follow-up conversation after that, like, no, he didn't do this, this, or this, or?
No, there hasn't been. I do not see anything in there in terms of age or structure. No, and I think that conversation needs to happen yet.
Right.
I mean, if there's a, give it an extension or approve it and say, listen, this license has been approved, but if something doesn't change, like this.
Well, didn't last year, didn't we give the
It was-
one group like 90 days or 60
Yep.
days or something?
Yep.
60.
It was the other part.
Right, it was the one on the 7th.
And that's under different ownership now. And we've had good conversations with that owner about, what he plans to do. Got several building permits in there, work ongoing. So you could drive through there today and say, well, that trail looks terrible. Yeah, well, it's under renovation and it's gonna look a little rough for a while, but, so long as they meet their obligation under that permit, we're fine. I think if nothing else, extend it, let us have a very frank discussion with the owner.
That's what I think is, in my opinion, we need to put clear guidelines, like, this is everything that has to get accomplished in this time period. Otherwise, the license is not being renewed.
What Kyle puts together is pretty clear what has to get done. So I think, like for those people that take care of their property, and I'm sure that some of them are very frustrated with their neighbors and so forth, but I would be in agreement with doing an extension. I don't know what needs to get done, needs to take longer than 30 days though. I don't know what's.
At this point, it's just cleaning up trash and
Right.
mowing and, you know.
Yep. But I also would not want to approve this for another year and let it
No,
go back. So I would say like it would need to be like it's on 90 days or something like that it gets revisited
Well,
again.
And I almost think like, do these get renewed every year?
Every year.
Like, there's a quarterly check-in, like it can't fall off and then 2 days before next year, then okay, let's mow again.
Yep.
Like, it's gotta be a maintenance thing that's, you've shown a clear direction change in how this park looks.
The approach to managing and owning this park, that's what we're looking for.
Right.
Because right now, it's a free-for-all.
Are there only mobile homes in there, or are there also campers?
There's two or, I can't remember, it's 2 or 4 campsites as well. There's no campers there right now. We had to send a letter earlier this year to,
Oh, okay.
yes, after we sent a letter and said, hey, about 30 to 60 days over the allowed time frame here, what's the plan? And we
Okay,
just,
so we don't have
at some
somebody
point,
living
update on
in a
that,
camper.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm with Chad, I think, why aren't we holding these mobile home parks to the same standards we are homeowners? With code inspection and code enforcement, I mean, if Kyle drives by a house on Second Avenue and they have a code violation, they're getting notified right away.
Yeah,
I mean, does he not have,
I think we do have some that have been sent out. What we're looking for is ownership accountability from the park owner. And we can do more frequent checks on these, that's not a problem. You know, it's not like we aren't there and available and can't do that, whether that's quarterly or otherwise. What we need to see is that they're going to take this seriously throughout the 12 months and not
Right.
just,
Yeah. Right before this.
well, I guess they're not gonna approve it, we better do something this week before they have their meeting next week, you know?
Yeah.
We were gone this past weekend, and I remember saying on the way home, so how much cleaning do you think Keegan can get done in 2 hours? Right, because we were gone for the week, he was home, I can almost guarantee you no dishes got washed by the time, you know, we left Chamberlain. So, you know, it really is, it's the same situation. You know, mom and dad are on their way, we better do something, we better pick up, we better clean up the house. Well, how about we take a little responsibility for the fact that we own this property, we've agreed, they had input. They had input into this ordinance when we revised it because they didn't like the way it was. Well, what's the problem now? And, you know, ultimately, you know, the folks that suffer are the folks that live there. Because, you know, these are folks in our community that don't have many options.
Right.
And their ownership is putting their livelihood and their ability to have shelter at risk.
And there are quite a few that did pass. It's just the few.
Mhm.
You looking at the report? Yeah.
Looks like over half the violations could be handled just by moving vehicles off the grass.
Which is the same discussion, so, I don't know who was here early, but, you know, or one of the courts, Hammerly, was here because it was his understanding that we were gonna recommend no approval on his because of some parking issues. And so I talked through those with him just an hour ago, said, you know, if there's gravel under that grass, well, then kill off the grass and just park on the gravel. And it's just been that way we look back to the, you know, aerial imagery from 2008, it's been clear it's been gravel that long, so that's an easy issue to resolve.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But, you know, that to me signals exactly what communication is or isn't happening. I don't think anybody's checking on that stuff and saying, well, oh well.
think consistency is important. Last year, we gave the park 90 days.
60 days, isn't it? Or was it
Was it 90?
I think it was,
I feel like it was 90.
I thought it was 90
It
because
was 90.
they needed time to get a contractor lined up or,
Someone,
you
there's a
know.
bigger financial
Yeah,
thing there though too, I think. So,
and I mean, we don't, yeah, this is slightly different. I mean, there is one here that Unit 19 has siding issues, it looks like, if I'm reading correctly, in the deck. So I mean, that
And the
one,
deck got worked on already, right?
Yeah, they actually, I think that may be one that our paramedics fell through a couple months back.
yeah.
And there's, you know, I wanna say there's a building permit on that one. It's vacant right now.
So it's vacant and it's not getting fixed.
I think it is getting fixed. I think the neighbors are helping fix it. I ran into the neighbors in the store 2-3 weeks ago, and they said they were working on it, so. Yeah. And Ron, you know, the previous owners of that one, Ron and Joni Cheddar, have always been willing to make things work and get after things. It just got away from them last year.
It was 60 days.
60, thank you.
It was 60,
I thought
okay.
it was. Thank
Well-
you, I was trying to find it.
Yeah, I mean, looking at all these, the fail column only, it looks like it's primarily just move some vehicles.
Yeah.
And
Mow some
pick up the
lawn.
junk, mow the grass. you know.
That takes care of the majority of it.
I mean, I would like to see some big changes by the time that this would go into the next, to old business in 2 weeks too. I don't think we need to give them much time. No one's here sharing why they're having issues
Right.
getting this spot cleaned up or whatever too, so that doesn't help.
So, has anyone talked to the trailer owners or just the trailer park owner? Cause the call log looks like it's just the trailer park owner and maybe the property manager.
Yes. That's my understanding.
Okay. Are
'Cause
we
our process is,
to work through that?
because it's the ownership license. If there's and code enforcement can get tough on these because, while they may own the home, they may not own the lot.
Sure.
The lot is rented and leased, so.
Is there a way we can just at least notify them this is being discussed? So
Yeah, we will have a meeting with the owners following this meeting.
The owners of the trailer, or
Of
the.
the court.
Okay.
You think the,
well, like
The residents?
I would hate for
you're
people-
talking the tenants of the park.
I would hate for people who are living there who are passing their thing. They have no idea this is even being discussed, and all of a sudden they're gonna be, hey, you gotta get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
So I'd like them to at least like maybe they can help put some pressure on their neighbors
Right.
and you know, Rob, and say, hey, let's clean this place
We
up.
will get a letter to tenants
Yeah.
sent as well.
Thank you. Yeah,
I think, and, you
again-
know, explaining the process, here's where our challenges lie.
Yep.
You
Here's what's
know,
happening.
this is not the action that we want to take, but it has an inevitable end if this continues.
I think that was a rub many, many years ago. The previous owners of the park,
On 7.
Off 7.
Park Drive,
yeah, Park Drive.
many years
Prior-
ago when we were
prior
doing the
to-
rewrite,
Yeah, prior
it
to
was.
Cheddar's, is that their name?
Yeah,
Yes.
because there was miscommunication there. The residents there were being told.
Yes, he was not telling them
Right.
everything,
Yeah.
and it was causing
Mm.
lots of problems.
That's right. That's a good reminder.
Yeah, because we don't, I mean, if it is as simple as moving a vehicle and then they end up losing their home over it, I mean, that's not a good look for any of, none of us
Right.
want that.
No,
If we do what's recommended, so approve the 3, deny the sunny side, then in 2 weeks, can we change that if progress is being made, or does it have to go through another 2 votes?
Or can we
rather than
can we-
denying it.
Can we just approve it for 60 days and then
Okay.
put them re-up for,
That's what I would suggest, because if it goes into denial,
then
well,
they got,
then the license is done, and we've gotta start some other process that we don't know yet.
Okay.
So I would recommend that same extension maybe. In the meantime, we have a conversation with the owner and get communication communication out to the tenants to explain to them what's happening and why.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve mobile home park license for Hammerly, Lennox, MHP, and Long Creek.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, then those three specifics, so Hammerly, Lennox, MHP, and Long Creek, to approve the mobile home park license. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, that motion carries.
Okay, then I'll make a motion to, what did we say, an extension? We'll get-
Extend for 60 days.
I'd like to make a motion to give an extension for 60 days of the home park license for Sunnyside.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion on that? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we don't need to do the last motion then, that was recommended, direct staff to create a relocation assistance program at this point, so, okay.
And I hope we don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
okay. That is it then, so I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries, we're adjourned.
Can you sign this one since I work here and you can't?
Yes.
Just the residents.
There we go.
I caught it this time. I don't know if I've ever caught it before, but